And this is what we have. We have severe thunderstorm warnings, and those counties in yellow, orange that you see, yellow. Also flash flood warnings up there in Bradford County. We had one earlier in Tioga, in Bradford rather. We have one up there in Tioga now. So, but the reason that we're staying on the air is because of this tornado warning that you see right here. So outside, I was planning on doing the weather from the severe weather set because we actually had the storms moving in just as we were getting close to the 4 o'clock hour. There's Wilkes-Barre. That's what it looks like right now. I want to just look at some cameras across northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Wilkes-Barre, the storms have moved north of your region. Right there it is. Sky's looking a little brighter too. That is Lake Wallenpaupack. Looks ripe for some storms there. Again, Lake Wallenpaupack, those storms are just south of you. They're going to keep moving east. And then let's go ahead and look at our roof camera. Yeah, we had the storms moving in earlier. We got a time lapse that Mariah shot of these storms coming in. I'll show in a little bit, but the big picture, the reason that we're continuing with weather rather than going to Stacy with the news is because of this tornado warning that's been issued. And it's this area right down here where you're seeing that rotation. So we need to be weather aware. This is all moving to the north. And I'm going to put that cone up again so that you guys can see exactly where I'm talking about. So there you go. Stroudsburg at 4:12. So just in a few minutes here. Rain already there in Stroudsburg. So is the lightning. I'm sure you're hearing the thunder. And then Price, you can see Price there right in the path of what could be a tornado that is heading north over the Poconos. So close eye on that. Let's go to a bigger view here. And there it is. So it's not just the Poconos that we're concerned with. It is also what's happening in central Pennsylvania and that risk for severe weather. We have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings going on right now. One is in Lackawanna County that just moved out of Luzerne County. And we have another one moving into Monroe County. And that is also in combination with that tornado warning that we have right there. And then we have the flash flood warning going on up in Tioga County right now. Oh, look at this. As I'm speaking, Stacy, that cluster of storms that are moving north are spawning more severe thunderstorms. So you see the flashing on the screen there, Stacy?
I do.
That is indicating that National Weather Service right now, as we're talking, are issuing a new severe thunderstorm warning for that region.
And I see that same yellow covering what is essentially southern Lackawanna County, the down valley, we call it sometimes.
Yep.
We just had a downpour right before we went on the air at 4 o'clock. You and I have sat through a lot of storms in this room.
Yep.
I don't know that I've ever heard rain that torrential.
Yeah,
over our heads here in Moosic.
It may even mixed in with a little bit of hail at times because we've had reports of pea-sized hail. Earlier, I was talking about those arrows that you see in our algorithm. Last time we checked on it, they were yellow. Now, if you look, they're red, meaning the updraft is increasing with this storm as it's heading north. So,
Kurt, when a new lightning strike comes on the graphic, is that indication of a real lightning strike?
Yes, it is. Now, it can be cloud to cloud. It can also be cloud to ground. Many of these times they're cloud to ground. And we can also limit the time that we actually see these lightning strikes. So I believe right now what I have the lightning set on is for the last about 7 to 10 minutes. So those are all the lightning strikes for the last 10 minutes.
All of them.
Correct. Now I can expand that out and go 30 and then we would be just hit with a plethora of lightning bolts on the screen there. But I want to try and stay a little bit more in tune with what's happening here within the last 5 or 10 minutes. But interesting, we were just talking about the algorithm on the radar that we use is able to tell us what it's seeing as far as updraft. And when you get hail is formed from updraft. Think of this, rain coming down is then picked up by that updraft, those red arrows that you're seeing. Then it gets thrown back up into the sky. And what happens then is it goes into air that is freezing. And then it lowers, it drops, and it begins to melt again. Then it gets picked up by the updraft, goes back up into that really cold air, hits other hailstones that are melting and freezing, melting and freezing. And it gets to the point where they're hovering in the atmosphere. And once that updraft isn't strong enough to hold those hailstones in the air anymore, they come crashing down to the ground. And that's what we're looking at as far as some hail. Now that radar just updated, and that's pretty intense rain. Stacy, you were talking about that rain. When you get purples on the radar like that, and we did have a small one over our backyard, that is intense, and that causes flash flooding.
I sit here and listen to Kurt, and I'm just amazed by first how quickly you work. We got this this tornado warning in Monroe County just about 2 minutes before we went on the air at 4 o'clock, and he was able to pull all this up and can speak intelligently about it. And I have a million questions that run through my mind. This area of Monroe County, it's one of the more mountainous regions in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Does that affect how the tornado, if a tornado does form here, how it might travel?
Yeah, well, one of the myths is that tornadoes won't form on mountains.
Which I thought that was true.
Yeah,
It's not?
no. I mean, elevation obviously can influence the atmosphere, especially when you get upsloping on one side of the mountain and downsloping on the other. But no, I mean, this if you get a tornado forming, this thing can roll right across there and certainly impact people in Stroudsburg. I'm just going to back this out for a second so that I get rid of those lightning strikes, and I want to zoom in here as close as I can get. There's some of the area. There's Smithfield, and we were talking earlier, Stacy, about Interstate 80. Bad spot to be there in Monroe County with these storms moving through. Even Stacy, if it's not a tornado, okay, you're still going to have, we've talked about the updraft with the storm, you're still going to have downbursts of winds from those updrafts. And that, 90% of the storm damage that we get from these storms, even though they're tornado warnings, are from straight line winds, from thunderstorms. So they can wreak havoc as well. But we typically go on the air and we stay on the air when there's a tornado warning. And we have one right now until 4:30. And then you'll notice inside the tornado warning there, but inside that larger area is a severe thunderstorm warning, which can also wreak havoc as well. So just go back to the radar image here. We'll zoom in, and there you go.
It looks like those updraft winds are back down to green.
Yeah, calming down a little bit, which is good. We're measuring the wind speeds going into these storms as well. And we've been talking so much about the tornado warning. Obviously, that's why we're on the air. But I want to show you this, because these storms are not going to be around all night. These storms are going to be ending this evening. And then as we head through the overnight, we're going to get a break from all of this. And tomorrow's actually looking pretty good as far as our weather goes. Only some spotty light showers. No severe weather tomorrow. Stacy, but I want to pull this up because we've had those storms coming through. Look at the rainfall totals just since midnight. Yeah, I mean, we're talking over 1 inch of rain, Mount Pocono, about a 1/2 inch for Williamsport, Selinsgrove, and you're going to see even more. This updated at 4. This isn't including what's happening right now over the Poconos, so you could be looking at more of that. And also, again, the reason we're on the air is because of that tornado warning, but we also have flash flood warnings going on up here in parts of our northern tier. So we're keeping an eye on this as well. All the purple counties that you see, those are for severe thunderstorm watches. The gold or yellow here, that's a severe thunderstorm warning that we're keeping an eye on. And then obviously we have the tornado warning and the severe thunderstorm warning going on right now. And that's flashing as we speak. So I'm going to leave that up on the screen for a minute. I just want to verify something. And that's part of the reason, Stacy, that we've made this severe weather set. So I'm literally getting up to the second information. Okay, so as of 4:14, this just updated, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over East Stroudsburg. So right now, over East Stroudsburg. And it's, 11 miles southeast of Mount Pocono. It is moving north. Remember, we talked about the direction now. Yesterday was northwest, now it's due north at 25 miles an hour. This tornado is capable of producing damaging winds, quarter-size hail. And again, the source, and we talked about it right off the top of the show, radar indicated rotation. So there was not a spotter on the ground seeing a funnel cloud. So flying debris can be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes can be damaged, destroyed. We can have damage to roof, windows, damage to vehicles can occur, and also tree damage is certainly possible. Now, some of the areas that are in that, and let me just go back to this. I'm going to zoom in on this area right here. Let me just back out a little bit. And I want to go with the broader target here. So just bear with me. So I'm going to put that up. Okay. Now we're seeing some more towns included in that. Smithfield, Stroudsburg, Pocono, Price, Flying Dollar. I'm not
I was just about to say, I don't know that one.
I don't know that.
I'm going to have to Google Flying Dollar.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. But there you go. They're the areas that are under the gun. So you want to seek shelter if you're living in and around those areas. And we're on the air because of that tornado warning. And we also have the severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm going to zoom back into this.
It looks like Flying Dollar is an airport in Barrett Township, the Canadensis area.
Okay, Barrett
Does that make
Township.
sense that it would come up as an airport?
Yep, it does. Okay, these are other possible towns located within the storm, that cone that I just showed you. Stormville, Marshalls Creek, Arlington Heights, Stroudsburg, Bartonsville, Antelomic, East Stroudsburg, Delaware Water Gap, and Tannersville. This also includes Interstate 80 in Pennsylvania between mile marker 302 and mile marker 314.
That I'd have to imagine is pretty busy right now at rush hour.
Oh yeah,
You know,
hands down.
So take it slow. If you're watching us on the WNEP app, pay attention to what you're doing. Take it slow. I can't imagine the conditions on 80 are great right now.
No, and let's go back to the radar. So we've been focusing on that area. There's numerous areas right now dealing with storms. That's why we have the flash flood warnings and the severe thunderstorm warnings. So the area that we're focused on right there, that circle there, that's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, right in this area, right here, this is why the National Weather Service and Stacy, we're getting an update. Let me go back to this. We're getting a new update right now. You see the flashing?
Yep.
Okay, so
More
that's
severe thunderstorm.
correct. Yep. So
For
we
a
got
wider
another
area.
severe thunderstorm warning going on right now, and we'll just zoom in on that. Just bear with me for a second as I update this. So we have a severe thunderstorm watch, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado warning, and another severe thunderstorm warning. That is for Monroe, and that also takes us up into Pike County. So this is going to brush. Oh, we're getting a new tornado warning right now. We're getting another tornado warning. Hang on one second. Let me zoom up. Yep. So we've got a
Wayne
second.
and Pike.
Yes, and it's that same line, Stacy, that we were just showing, that even though there was nothing going on there, but there was a severe thunderstorm warning, these can spawn these tornadoes because...
That is a long line of storms. You're talking, from northern Wayne County all the way down to Monroe.
Yeah, let me show it on radar so the people at home can see what Stacy's talking about. Right there, that is that line. And again, and I just want to reiterate this because this is why we built the severe weather set. If I was outside right now, Stacy, I would not be able to keep up with all of this.
Absolutely
Doing
Nor would you be safe.
Correct. But I'm just saying, we wouldn't be. Now, I literally have up to the second information on what's happening across northeastern and central Pennsylvania, which is why we have this new severe weather set that we installed last year. So there's that line that you were talking about. The first one that spawned the first tornado warning, that one is right there. Okay, the second one that we're seeing right now is somewhere over in here. So I want to zoom in on that one. Let me just go back to this real quick. Here we go. Oh, are we getting a third one?
It looks like it.
We are getting a third one, absolutely. So we want to take shelter here immediately. I want to update this real fast so I can see.
You may have heard Kurt say this before, but I'll reiterate. If you are in that area of the tornado warning, we urge you to get down to a basement if you have one. If you don't, an interior wall, a hallway in the center of your home, away from windows, right, Kurt?
Yes, away from windows for sure.
Someplace where you can stay safe.
So I'm just highlighting a few of these. Just bear with me a second now. I'm clicking on this tornado warning until 4:45. So including in these tornado warnings that we have, and there's multiple ones here, including, and I want to talk, and I'll zoom in here on the counties and stuff that we're talking about. So that encompasses Monroe, just brushing Pike County and western Pike County, and then it also encompasses Wayne County. So we've got multiple counties over eastern Pennsylvania that are included in tornado warnings. until 4:45. And I just want to thank the control room. Thank you guys for staying with us and getting us on the air here right at 4 o'clock and doing what you guys do. You guys really are the best in the business. All right, so I'm going to do a cone here, and I'm going to extend this out like this. Okay, so we've got tornado warnings involving 3 counties over eastern Pennsylvania. Here are some of the towns that are possible. And I know, don't email me, there's only one town in Pennsylvania, it's Bloomsburg, but just go with the flow on this, all right? So you're talking Blooming Grove, Stacy, you see the other ones there?
Yes, Stroudsburg, Blooming Grove, Hawley in Wayne County, Honesdale, Pleasant Mount.
Yeah, and that extends all the way up to 609. So we're gonna see these tornado warnings are not scheduled to last that long, but they may get fired back up again. We may get some more as we move through the afternoon.
And you were right, that line of storms is moving just directly north.
Yeah, due north, and it's pretty impressive. I mean, when you look at it. So let me just go back to this. Just bear with me for a second. I want to update something here. Let me go back to this. While you're looking at that radar, I'm going to circle the areas that we're very concerned with, because I want to try and give you up to the minute. It's this line of storms right here that has spawned multiple tornado warnings, and it is moving due north. So if you live in and around those areas, seek shelter, please. Let's go ahead and update this. Just back it up for a second, and I want to get the latest on those tornado warnings. So, all right, so that second one. Now, the second one that was just issued about 4 minutes ago, Stacy.
And it looks like there's something going on in Bradford County?
Yes, that's Bradford County. Tioga County, rather, with the hail that you're seeing there in the icon. That's Tioga County. Tioga County also dealt with some flash flood warnings earlier. They may get brought back up again as well. So this second tornado warning just issued a little bit ago. That's for southeastern Wayne County and northwestern Pike County. So we also have Monroe County that's already included. So we have multiple counties under these tornado warnings. So towns in line with this, Ledgerdale, be ready. It's located near you or about 16 miles south of Honesdale. It is moving due north. And again, this one's moving due north at 25 miles an hour. Watch out for flying debris, and you want to be very, very careful with these storms. So, all right, let's go back. I'm going to zoom in now on the radar, and these are the areas right here. And that's a nasty line. Remember, the attributes that I have on the radar are only for the last 10 minutes. So that gives you an idea of how many lightning strikes we're dealing with. And
that little, the little purple spot down near Broadheadsville, that I feel like that's been there for, we've been on the air for about 24 minutes.
Yep.
They've been dealing with some torrential rain for quite a bit.
Yeah, we're probably going to see severe flash flood warnings being issued out of some of these because of these downpours. The area you're talking about, I see right down in here, Penargil. This is moving due north, so Stroudsburg, get ready. You're going to go through another round of storms. But the area that spawned the tornado warning is right near Price right now, which is one of the towns that we talked about being in line with that. And that is the area right there. I'm zooming in here, and there you go, Price. All right, control room's telling me we have some video. Who's it from? Okay, Dan in Monroe County. There you go. Stacy, we're talking about that.
Looks like Main Street in Stroudsburg.
The hail, the pea-sized hail that was indicated on Doppler radar. There it is. Dan getting some shots of that. And also, when you do get hail mixing in like that with the heavy rain, it can make it sound a lot louder than what it really is, like you were talking about.
For about 5 minutes, it was really loud.
So thank you, Dan. Thank you, control room. Appreciate it. Just giving you an idea of what people are dealing with over parts of the Poconos as we continue to show this. All right, let's zoom up. And that other tornado warning, remember, we have multiple tornado warnings going on right now. One is set to expire in just a few minutes. That's the one that's over the Poconos. We'll see if that one continues to be extended. My thinking on it, it probably will be. But I want to focus, we've been focusing a lot on that one down there, but I want to focus the tornado warning here because this one is a little bit more to the north, and you can see the towns which may be impacted. So if you live in and around Blooming Grove, Pike, Holly, take shelter. You've got a storm with the potential for producing a tornado. With this one that was just issued at 4:19, this is the second one that we're on right now with the towns that you see right there. Stacy, that one also radar indicated rotation. So not an actual funnel cloud on the ground, but radar. This is supposed to be near Pike right now and Holly at 4:35. So, which is, again, this tornado warning is different from the tornado warning that we have just south of that. And as we mentioned before, it's not just the tornado warnings. You've got a long line of severe thunderstorm warnings following this line of storms that's moving to the north. And look at all that lightning. That is just so impressive.
Kurt, can I ask a procedural question?
Yes.
Because, in my role as a reporter, I have covered, storm cleanups when the National Weather Service comes out and investigates whether or not a tornado actually occurred after the fact.
Right.
What needs to happen to trigger that? Do they investigate every time a radar indicates rotation, or does there have to be a certain level of damage? Do you know?
Well, the National Weather Service will go to a site, whether it's radar indicated or whether there's a funnel cloud reported on the ground. Typically, if it's just radar indicated and there's not much storm damage reported, they probably won't go out there. Mm-hmm. But if there is a lot of damage, whether it was radar indicated or an actual spotter on the ground, they'll go there. Control room, can we go to roof cam for a minute? Because this will help me explain what I'm about to explain. So you can see roof cam, you can see all the treetops there, Stacy. Mm-hmm. So what they'll do when they go, the National Weather Service, and I've been with them many times when they go to these sites, they'll find the debris field and they'll look at how the trees are knocked over. Are they uprooted from the ground or are they snapped in half? If they're uprooted from the ground, are all the trees in one direction? So if they are in one direction and uprooted, it would indicate straight line winds. If they're snapped in half and they're in almost like a half moon shape, then that would be the indication that there would be the potential for a tornado in that area. Thank you, control room. I just wanted to show in a wooded area like that, when the National Weather Service goes in, what they're going to be looking for. And this is why we're on the air right now. We've been on the air since 4 o'clock, that tornado warning until 4:45. And still showing the rotation. Both of these tornado warnings, by the way, Doppler indicated rotation. If you missed it at the top, briefly, I'll just explain it again. You can see how that arrow's spinning around. Well, tornadoes don't form vertically, come down like a finger to your palm. That's not how it works. They form horizontally, and then they gradually spin, get tighter, and then they start working their way down to the ground. Almost like if you had your hand straight out. If you hold your hand straight out, and then you take your hand and then you slowly point it down towards your legs and keep your hand straight out. That's how a tornado forms. It's not vertical, pointing straight down. So what they're picking up now is that horizontal rotation that's in the clouds. So even though there may not be a funnel cloud spotted, and according to the National Weather Service, this was Doppler indicated, so its potential is there. So we want people to be safe. You saw that video from Dan out there in Stroudsburg, and look at that. Again, the Doppler radar picking up more pea-sized hail with this storm as it's moving to the north. So the other storm that we're keeping a close eye on right here, this storm also triggering a tornado warning right there, and that is showing this storm moving due north. I want to go ahead and put everything into motion, Stacy, so people can see what I'm talking about here. Uh-oh. You look up there near Tioga County, just south of Wellsboro.
What does that mean?
That's picking up some rotation inside of a thunderstorm. Just what we were talking about with these other storms. So
has a warning been issued there as well? Or
no, there has been no warning issued there.
Okay.
And just because we see mesorotation in a storm doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get a tornado warning. It's what the National Weather Service decides to do. But that's why I was saying earlier, even though we're focused on eastern Pennsylvania, Central PA is not out of the woods.
This is a big storm.
Yes.
It's covering virtually our entire viewing area.
It is. Here it is, too. I'll show you. I put the animation to it. There's that large area of low pressure. It's now spinning over the Great Lakes region. It's turning counterclockwise. Since it's moving east, now the storms are moving due north. Whereas yesterday, that low, I'll show you, yesterday the low was actually over here, where this X is. So everything was being pulled up from the southeast to the northwest, heading towards the Great Lakes region. Now that that storm has moved, it's moving over our region. And eventually, as it pulls away tomorrow, Stacy, any showers we see will then come from the normal spot of the Great Lakes pushing to the southeast. So, but yeah.
What are the conditions that today that led to what we're dealing with this afternoon? It didn't feel like that typical July muggy, humid day today. We did have some good periods of sunshine earlier this afternoon, but it didn't feel like a storm day.
Bingo, you nailed it.
The sunshine?
The sunshine. Yep, the sunshine acts as a mechanism which creates lift in the lower atmosphere. So I wish it would have stayed cloudy all day, because then we wouldn't have had as many severe storms as what we're dealing with now. That sun came out, and believe me, I was walking the dogs. I was loving the sunshine, but I was also thinking to myself, oh no.
We're going to have a busy afternoon.
We're going to have a busy afternoon, because when you get sunshine out, it creates lift, which creates these storms become bigger, and we get these long lines of showers and storms. That, coupled with the fact that we have that upper low just west of us, and that thing is sitting there and spinning, and it's pulling up moisture from the south, and it's spilling it right over our region. Couple that with sunshine, the ingredients were right for some storms today. And these storms, again, pretty severe, especially over eastern Pennsylvania. There's that line right there. Pleasant Mount, Forest City, Honesdale, Blooming Grove, down to Mount Pocono. This is where we have those multiple tornado warnings happening right now. Let me just look at something real quick. I want to see this. Okay, so there's a tornado warning that's been extended into Pike County, so it's pushing a little bit more. Let me just look here real fast. While you're looking at that, you can see the counties that we have there. Let me zoom in for you. Sorry, I'm literally working on multiple computers at once while I'm doing this. Stacy can attest, she's right here.
I'm watching it, and it is fascinating to watch. I do want to, while Kurt's working, draw your attention to the bottom of the screen, because it's, while we are talking about these tornado warnings, and that is why we are on the air. Many of us throughout northeastern and central Pennsylvania are dealing with severe weather right now. You can see the severe thunderstorm watches are rolling through. There's also some flash flood warnings that are important to pay attention to that are going by on that scroll. And a reminder to the folks in those areas in Monroe County, parts of Pike and parts of Wayne counties, in those areas where we are dealing with the tornado warning. This is what we advise you to do. If you have a basement, that is a safe place to be. If you do not have a basement, move away from the windows of your home and move to an interior wall. An interior hallway, any room that is in the center of your house. That's the safest place for you to be. Turn the TV up if you need to, and you can listen to us. We will be on the air as these tornado warnings persist. We will be with you. Kurt is here. He has all of the up-to-date information as it happens. It looks like we're getting another warning right now, actually.
Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning. Now, the interesting thing, the reason we came on the air and stayed on the air at 4 o'clock is because of that tornado warning that we had for Monroe County. Remember? That has expired as of 4:30, but those storms are spawning new. So I've just put arrows on here. These are all newer severe tornado warnings that have been issued by the National Weather Service.
Move that map up a little bit if you can. You can't really see with the lower third, you can't see the third arrow.
Hold on one second. Let me just, and I'm gonna move these arrows, so just bear with me for a second. This is what we call going on the fly here. And
you're a pro at it.
So we got 1, we have 2, and we have 3. So the original tornado warning, which is why we were on the air and staying on the air, has expired. But those storms have spawned more tornado warnings. I just want to start off with the latest one that we have. That was just issued a few minutes ago, 4:31. That was for east central Monroe County in northeastern Pennsylvania. Also, just outside of our viewing area, Sussex and Warren counties. But for our area, east central Monroe County, northeastern Pennsylvania, tornado warning And right now, that storm is 15 miles southwest of Newton. It is moving north. This one's a little bit faster at about 30 miles an hour, moving north on that one. All right, let me back out. While you're looking at those three areas that we're focused on, I want to get a new, okay, so this is the one. Let me see, tornado warning. Okay, this as of 4:32. This one is 12 miles east of Mount Pocono. That's the one in the middle there, Stacy, that you can see there. That is 12 miles east of Mount Pocono, moving north at about 30 miles an hour. And again, this is radar indicated rotation. And we just want to be careful because it'd be dangerous if you're caught in shelters, mobile homes, you know, in any place that you get to, the basement or interior room of your home. That's the best place to be when dealing with these. And then finally, the last one, and that's the one up here that's moving into Wayne County. That tornado warning was issued at 4:19 while we were on the air. That is southwestern Wayne, northwestern Pike. So we have three going on right now. That system is 16 miles south of Honesdale. So that was at 4:20. So that was about 10, 15 minutes ago. That means that system is moving north at 25 miles an hour. So it's a lot closer to Honesdale now than what it was before. So with that said, I want to go to the radar and see if I can look at all three of these for you. We have multiple tornado warnings going on. So that's why we're on the air. So here's an area right here. So, okay, all right. Thank you, Mariah. Control room's telling me, since we're right here in eastern Pennsylvania, Lake Wallenpaupack camera that I had up earlier. Go ahead, Mariah. Can you put that up? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see those storms.
Yeah, you showed that just a little while ago, and it was a much different scene.
Yeah, it was beautiful out there. Not nearly as much wind. So, yeah. Keep that one. Keep us posted on that one, control room. Thank you very much. All right, let's go back to the radar. And there we go. So the area that we're keeping a close eye on, see where it's just west of Holly and it's moving north towards Honesdale. You got some heavy rain right now falling over Honesdale. You can see that darker color right there. That is moving, that's those storms moving to the north. Also a lot of lightning, cloud to ground lightning associated with that too. Let's scroll down. So we got the next two right here. So there's one creating that right here. And then we have another one spawning a severe thunderstorm warning right there. So I want to do the cone effect once again if I can. Let me just move this. Bear with me. And when I say the cone effect, we have a couple. We have a wave and we have a cone. Let's do the wave first. And I'm going to move this up. And there we go. So those are the towns in the path.
Sterling, Spring Hill, Blooming Grove, Holly, Cherry Ridge Township, Lackawaxen, those areas of Wayne County are in that tornado warning.
Yes.
And that's really helpful because I think some people look at the map and not necessarily know where they are on it. It's also giving us some times leading up to 5 o'clock, where it's 4:39 right now. It's looking like 4:45, hitting the Sterling area, 4:50 Blooming Grove, 4:58 Holly, and just after 5 o'clock, Cherry Ridge and Lackawaxen, that storm will be moving up towards you.
Yes, let me just clear that real quick. The other thing I want to mention, because we've been so tied up with the tornado warnings, obviously, remember, they're Doppler indicated. There's not been a spotter on the ground saying that there's a funnel cloud. Doesn't mean that there won't be one, but I'm just saying these are Doppler indicated, and I explained in depth earlier during this first one what that means and the importance of that. So I just want to back out here. You know, we've been focusing on this area right here, which obviously we need to because of the tornado warnings. We've been focusing a lot on this area right here, this line of showers and storms. It's spawning 3 tornado warnings. So they're all heading north. So if you are in anywhere in that line of showers or storms that you see, seek shelter. Seek shelter. If you have somebody traveling on 84 or on 80 in and around the Poconos, call them. Tell them, hey, there's severe weather there. Make sure that they're safe. But Stacy, the reason I'm bringing this up, I want to move this up just a little bit. I want to focus on this. We have not focused on what's been going on just north of the tornado warnings. And Stacy, what we have going on there is really not the greatest. That is a flash flood warning being issued right now. That includes for Wayne County, northern Lackawanna County. You can see that area right there. And also eastern Susquehanna County. There is a severe flood warning going on. Let me just move this over here real fast.
Now, I'm chiming in occasionally with my non-meteorologist thinking, but
Yes.
it has been so dry lately.
Yes.
That puts us in a little bit better of a position, right, for when it comes to flash floods. The ground's not saturated, but there has been a significant amount of rain. You showed a map a little while ago that showed, Monroe County has already had an inch of rain in the last 24 hours, not even counting what's going on right now.
Since midnight.
Right.
Yeah.
Since midnight, so not
Right.
even 24 hours.
Right.
So that can lead to some pretty nasty flash floods.
Yes, very much so. And speaking of this area that I'm focused on right here, we do have a flash flooding warning caused by the thunderstorms. Doppler radar indicating producing heavy rain across this area that I have highlighted right there. You see Pleasant Mount, between 1 and 2 inches of rain have already fallen. Flash flooding is ongoing and expected to continue. The towns impacted by the flash flooding going on up there right now: Carbondale, Honesdale, Archbald, Susquehanna, Forest City, Mayfield, Susquehanna Depot, Waymart, Hancock, Lansboro, Uniondale. All of those areas up there are dealing with that flash flooding that's going on. And then, of course, we have the tornado warning, southeastern Pike County. Let me just back out of this. There you go. And it's that area right there. We have 3 of them going on. One just to the south there, just outside of our viewing area, but part of our viewing area included in that extreme eastern Monroe County, which is why we're focusing on that one. The one in the center there, that includes Monroe and Pike County, and then one that includes Pike and Wayne County. We're watching that one as well.
And it looks like that's been extended. Did we know that goes until 5 o'clock tonight?
Yeah, one of them was extended. Let me just look at this real fast. This one, 4:45. This one goes until 5 p.m. This is the newer one. Yeah, and that one goes until 5:15.
Okay.
And that one is moving north, so that one's actually moving into our viewing area.
So is that a second? So we had a tornado warning in that area a little bit to the west, just a little bit,
Yes.
that had expired. So is that a second storm or is that the same storm?
Okay,
Do we know?
the storm that spawned this second, let me just clear these real quick. Okay, so the storm that spawned this second one that's moving up into Pike County, this is the storm system. I'm going to put an arrow to it here. This is the storm system right here that spawned the tornado warning about a half an hour ago down to the south. It's just the tornado warnings are going with those storms as they're heading north. Okay, this newer one that's until 5:15, that's from a different storm system. And then we have these that have spawned the severe thunderstorm warnings. They have also spawned a tornado warning as well. So what does it look like on radar? There you go. Let me just move this over. That's just a nasty line. Oh, look at that now. A couple of spots we're watching. We just talked about this, Stacy. The flash flood warnings happening right now in Wayne County. And look at that. Mesorotation on the radar. Doppler indicated rotation in the storm. So again, briefly, tornadoes don't form vertically like a finger down to your palm. They form horizontally and then over time tighten and gradually wind down towards the surface. So right now,
like if you're visualizing the water in a drain.
Correct.
Going down, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't form that way. Like the water in the drain, when the tornado forms, it doesn't just form straight down like that. It forms horizontally and then gradually works its way sideways down like that. I know you can't see me on TV, but I'm explaining it to Stacy. So what's happening right now is that horizontal rotation that it's picking up in the clouds, even though it's not seeing a funnel cloud on the ground. The potential is there, so we're going to watch that area closely as well. So, yeah, it's one of those things on TV when you're trying to explain. It's better, have a visual.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? That's why I said, come back to me for a second here in the severe weather set control room, if we could. I just want to give you, like I was explaining to Stacy, you can see that area that's encompassed in those tornado warnings. So. When we talk about tornado warnings, can we come back to the severe weather set here on camera, guys? So okay, thank you. So when we talk about tornadoes forming, again, I'm doing this as I'm explaining it to you. So when Doppler radar picks up a tornado, the rotation, the mesorotation inside of one of those storms, that spins horizontally like this, okay? Tornadoes don't form like this and then come straight down. This is what I was explaining, and I just think it's better with a visual. So when Doppler picks up that rotation horizontally, and it tightens. As it tightens, here's your rotation. That's why we're seeing that arrow spinning on radar. As that rotation spinning, it tightens. Then a tornado forms by it beginning to move in this direction like this. Not straight up and down, it goes like this. And we end up with a funnel cloud towards the ground. So right now we're just in this phase. We haven't seen any confirmation of that funnel cloud tightening and then turning down to the ground. We haven't seen that yet. But it doesn't mean that it's not happening, because the weather's pretty nasty and you don't want to be outside trying to take video when you're dealing with hail, cloud to ground lightning, and all of those. So, okay, can we go back to the radar, please? Thank you, control room. I appreciate it. Just trying to give a visual for people at home so that they understand what I'm talking about when I talk about picking up that rotation in the storms and that horizontal motion. So yeah, and look at this. We're picking up that same thing over Tioga County, where they have flash flood warnings earlier today. So we're on the air because of the tornado warnings. I want to go back. I think one has just expired about a minute or two ago. Yes, it did. Good news, Stacy. One has expired. So we still have that tornado until 5. The one that was until 4:45 has expired, but that's the one that was up here in southern Wayne County that was moving north. We still have one there in Pike County.
Looks like it's
and yeah, it's moved into Pike County, and we have the one to the south there. That one is until 5, and then let me just click on this one. This one's until 5:15. But even though we lost that tornado warning, Stacy, to the one up here to the north, I want to go back to the radar just to show you, because this is the area where we've been seeing rotation and yeah, even some hail indicated. So even though there's not a tornado warning for that area, doesn't mean they're out of trouble. Well, we're still going to be dealing with gusty winds and the potential for hail. Come down here. Look at over there. What is that, Blairstown? That's outside of our viewing area, just outside of our viewing area. We'll have to watch that. But this area right here, if you have family or friends, eastern Monroe County up into Pike County, the best thing to do, give them a call and warn them. You know what I'm saying? So up into, let me just zoom in there. Yeah, Honesdale got hit pretty hard with this. Holly, Paul Pack, Blooming Grove. Let me back out here and let me look at this. Go for a couple of these. So we have this warning right here. That includes Lackawaxen, Tustin, and Narrowsburg. Not familiar with Narrowsburg.
Narrowsburg is actually in New York. Okay. It's very close to Honesdale, but you have to cross the New York state line.
Okay, that's with the one to the south. That one's until 5:15. Let me clear this, and bear with me. And then I want to move to the north here, and then that second one that we're keeping a close eye on. Let me go.
So we still have 2 warnings in effect?
Yeah. We're getting updates right now. Come on, load. We're getting updates right now. That's what that flashing was for a second. Yeah, it's still flashing. See it right there?
Okay, they've increased the size of that area.
Yeah, and notice it's also now moving to the north.
Right.
So it's basically just following those storms, and specifically that one cell as it's moving in that direction. So let me go back here. I just want to get the latest that I can for you. And tornado warning. And that was the one from 4:19. Let's update and see if we can get a new. There we go. That's the one I want. Just bear with me for a second. As I mentioned, I'm working on multiple computers here. So, okay, Stacy, this one just issued at 4:48. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. It's near Peck's Pond, or 14 miles west. I'm not familiar with this. Montego. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen this area mentioned
We're
before.
learning a lot about geography today.
And we're learning about areas that we necessarily haven't really seen before because they're rural, wooded areas.
Right, and usually in our reporting, we stick to townships, municipal governments, and sometimes the locations that the National Weather Service gives us are villages or something like that.
Yep. So this thing is moving north at 30 miles an hour. That's the one.
Do you want to make that cone, and maybe I can take a crack at the name of that town?
Hang on one second. Let me just switch computers here. And let me go on radar. And let me slide over here. Come on.
While Kurt's doing that work, I want to issue that reminder. The areas that are in this tornado warning, Monroe County, in effect until 5:15 tonight. We will be with you. We are on the air because this tornado warning has been issued. We will be with you. On the air, we're also on the WNEP app, WNEP Plus. If you want to call someone in that area who might not be in front of a TV or might not be at home, they can access us on the WNEP app, and we will be with you until these tornado warnings are expired. If you are in those areas, get away from the windows. Get to the basement if you have one. If you don't, an interior wall is also a safe place to be. Folks in mobile homes, move away from the windows. Not a safe place to be. Here are some updated locations. 454. It's 452 right now. So right at Flying Dollar Airport, which I believe we said was Barrett Township.
Yep.
It's right over you right now. Headed towards Promised Land State Park, Blooming Grove in Pike County, 507. Greeley School, 514. I believe that is in Wayne County.
Yeah, you're going to have to check on that one for me. And by the way, we're getting a new severe thunderstorm warning right now for, again, eastern Monroe County. We're probably going to end up with flash flood warnings for that area as well with all that heavy rain. I just want to zoom in. This is that tornado warning until 5:15, and it looks like we have a new tornado warning happening right now. Whenever you see that flashing on there, that's indicating that we've got some new information coming on there. So just click on that one until 5:15 as well. But I want to go back up to that one.
Greeley School's in the Wayne Highlands School District.
Okay. We want people to be safe.
So if you were in that area, it's headed your way. 5:08 p.m. I believe.
We definitely want people to be safe, which is why we are on the air right now. All right, I want to go back to this newer one that was just issued.
Greeley is in Pike County. I apologize.
Yeah, and let me just bring this one up. Hang on. We're on the air because of this storm, and we want people to be safe. And I mean, there's 84 again. We talked about those. So there you go. That one town the National Weather Service issued had mentioned on there, it's not popping up on any of my maps that I have here. So I'm just going to go with it's probably a very rural area. As you can see, Blooming Grove School. Stacy was mentioning Greeley School, Handsome Eddy, and Lackawaxen, all in the path of where this storm is going. This storm capable of producing tornadic activity is what the National Weather Service is issuing. And we're talking about this area right here. So be careful if you're traveling anywhere in basically eastern Monroe County. And I want to highlight this all the way into Pike County, this area right here. That's where we have multiple tornado warnings issued right now. And we are watching them very closely. They are also severe thunderstorm warnings we have issued as well for those. Okay, so what's causing all of this? There's that area of low pressure over the Great Lakes region. Remember, yesterday it was to our west. It was out here, and everything was coming up in this direction, like this. Now that low, that was from yesterday, southeast to northwest. I talked specifically about that and how that was different from systems that we typically see. Now, this system has moved more towards the east. And so it's now over the Great Lakes region, so it's here rather than where it was yesterday. So because of that counterclockwise flow right here, it's causing everything to move north like that. You see that? And that's what we're dealing with right now. That's why everything's coming from south and moving north. That's what we're seeing and we're going to continue to see this heading into the evening hours. So right now we have tornado warnings issued until 5:15 by the National Weather Service for parts of eastern Pennsylvania. I've been mentioning it as we've been talking all afternoon. In central PA, it does not mean that you are in the clear. Central Pennsylvania has some storms that they are watching very, very closely for. Again, flash flooding has been issued for parts of central Pennsylvania, severe thunderstorm warnings. So they have some storms going on there. I know in events like this, Stacy, it takes some time for the photos to start trickling in. Are you seeing anything?
We have just a few photos to show you, but it kind of demonstrates exactly what you were just saying, Kurt, that we're talking about these areas of the Poconos that are dealing with tornado warnings, and they are in the thick of it right now, but all of northeastern and central Pennsylvania is experiencing severe weather. I do have just a few pictures, but I want to show you, submitted to near me on the WNEP app. Before I show them, I want to urge folks, only take photos and send them to us if you can do so safely. Don't go out into the storm just to send us photos. If you can see something safely from a window, we're happy to show that because it helps tell the story. And how about these pictures from the South Valley Parkway in Wilkes-Barre? Kind of demonstrates what it was like earlier. It's the sun's hitting the trees there, but the dark clouds are overhead. That was submitted by Suzette. Thanks for sending those, Suzette. See how dark that's heading into South Valley Parkway in Wilkes-Barre. The dark clouds just ahead on the horizon there. And there's also a picture here from the area that is affected by the tornado warning, Pleasant Mount Fish Hatchery. This was submitted by Maria Knapp, and it shows how high this, I'm assuming it's a creek, is at this moment, and they're getting significant rainfall as we're on the air. Right, Kurt?
Yes, they are. Matter of fact, I'm just reading, we have that tornado warning until 5:15. Let me switch computers real quick. Go back to this and show you this. Load that page real fast. Just looking for the latest. We have 3 areas of tornado warnings right now. Again, the tornado warnings are all over eastern Pennsylvania. Stacy, once again, there's that mesorotation forming in the storm. We just talked in depth about it happening horizontally. Thank you very much, Zoe. Happening horizontally. But again, no confirmation of them being on the ground. I have 450 update located near Peck's Pond. So that's about 8 minutes ago. That is moving north at 30 miles an hour. So we're keeping a close eye on that one. Tornado warning. That's okay. So those are still going on until 5:15. Let me just update this. And I want to go back to the one that's just south of our viewing area, but it is moving north. And that's the one that's going to bring us. Let me just pull that up on the radar. Okay, so the area that I'm talking about for this second one. So we've got the one that you see the rotation happening right there, just south of Blooming Grove.
Quite a bit of lightning.
Yeah, a lot of lightning. And then the other one that we're seeing is right in here. Let me clear that. I'll put an arrow in there instead, make it a little easier to see. But yeah, the other one we're talking about is right in here. So that one's moving to the north as well. So we've got a couple of systems that are producing the potential for, when we come back to this, tornado warnings by the National Weather Service. So let me zoom in here. And Stacy, even though we focus so much on tornado warnings, when you see those counties with the gold, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. And as we talked about, 90% of the damage from these storms come from severe thunderstorm warnings, straight line winds. And I know you want people to be safe. And when they're in the path of these, they need to take action.
Absolutely. To stay safe, get down to the basement of your home. Again, and Kurt's right. We have been focusing a lot on those areas of the Poconos that are in red right now. But if you find yourself in one of those yellow areas, the weather is pretty hairy where you are as well. So this is good advice to take. You can go to a basement if you have one. Go inside to an interior wall if you do not have a basement, and go against an interior wall. Anywhere that's away from the windows in your home will help keep you safe.
Absolutely. And I'm focused on this tornado warning. You can see Stillwater, Walpack, Cool Ball, all included in the direction. These are moving north. Now this particular one that's just north of that one that I just showed you, National Weather Service has it tilted just slightly to the right. So it would be more of a north-northeast tilt, but pretty much north for the most part. And there you go. It's right along 84. This is the area where we're concerned about if you're doing any traveling or you have a family member, a loved one who's traveling and they're along 84. Even if it's not tornadic activity, these storms, you were mentioning the lightning before, Stacy, pretty intense. As you can see, just south of Blooming Grove. That's just within the last 10 minutes. If you're just joining us, we were talking earlier about, I've got the attributes on the lightning on, but I only have it for the last 10 minutes. So all of those lightning bolts that you see there happen within the last 10 minutes. That's more like a paparazzi in the sky.
Absolutely,
That's
when you think
description.
Of that. And
Absolutely.
Kurt, since it's the top of the hour, we should remind folks, if you're just joining us, expecting Newswatch 16 at 5, Kurt and I are on the air sharing information about 2 separate tornado warnings in the Poconos in Monroe County that are going on right now. We are going to remain on the air discussing the weather as it happens. There's a new warning that's just flashing there on the map that the red is the tornado warnings. That is why we are on the air and will remain on the air as those tornado warnings persist. But the yellow areas, as Kurt was just saying, if you're just joining us, those yellow areas are severe thunderstorm warnings. The weather is also severe, dangerous in those areas as well.
You know, you're learning a lot.
I'm learning a lot.
I know,
today.
you really are. That's why I saw you when you looked over and you saw it flashing. You knew right away that's a new severe thunderstorm warning that was issued.
I have to say you are all in very good hands with Chief Meteorologist Kurt Aaron. He is in our Severe Weather Center and getting information. As soon as we get it, it comes to you. We're learning a lot of this as we are on the air. Kurt, do we have some time for photos? Because we have a few new photos to share.
Sure, and I just want to tell people that's why we have the severe weather set. We get it instantaneously up to the second. If you're on your phone and you're going to the National Weather Service website and you're seeing that severe thunderstorm warning isn't showing up yet on your phone or online, because we're getting it instantly. It may take a minute or two for it to show up online. You've got some photos.
So stick with us. You can watch us. You can stream us on the app on WNEP Plus. If you are in an area where these storms are rolling through, turn the volume up, get to an area that's safe. We'll keep talking to you as these warnings persist this afternoon. We have a few pictures to show you that were submitted through Near Me on the WNEP app. I urge people, we love to see your photos. It helps tell the story of what's going on across northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Only do that if it's safe. Let's take a look at what we have. We have quite a few photos from the Lake Ariel area. Flash flooding in Wayne County. Let's take a look at this. There is, you might not be able to see it. Can I zoom a little bit? Yeah, it just makes it blurry, but you can see water on the roadway there, and also it's starting to pool in that front yard there in the Lake Ariel area of Wayne County. Let's take a look at what other picture she has. Yep, there's some streams that are forming in that area of her yard. And that is another thing that we're dealing with, right, Curtis? It's flash flood warnings are still throughout our area, not just in the areas where there are tornado warnings.
Correct. And we do have some tornado warnings that are out there right now. I'm just updating some of the stuff that we have here.
We showed this earlier. This is a really high creek in Pleasant Mount at the Pleasant Mount Fish Hatchery from Maria Knapp. Let's see if there's anything else to share. And here's some pictures from the East Stroudsburg area that saw those
pea-size hail.
The first tornado warning that we got right at 4 o'clock. This is Main Street in Stroudsburg. Look at that pea-size hail in her hand. That's from Emily Kress, our reporter.
All right,
thank you, Emily. Emily and Dan are in the thick of it right now. And there's that flash flooding from Wayne County as well. Here we have a video of pea-size hail in Stroudsburg.
Is that from Dan?
No, this is actually from Michael Goss. This was submitted by a viewer.
Okay. Thank you, Michael.
Look at that and the pooling in his front yard there.
Yep. Yeah, this has been a lot of rain. I'm going to look at those rainfall totals here in just a second, but
thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone who sent us some photos.
Absolutely.
Oh, angry sky. This is from Pete in East Stroudsburg.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Again, a lot of times people see scud clouds. Scud clouds can resemble what looks like funnel clouds, but they're not. They're harmless, but sometimes people get them. I know we got some pictures earlier of some scud clouds. I'd have to look more in depth at this one. This one to me does not look like a tornado. It looks more like a scud cloud.
Even though it kind of has that conical shape.
Yeah, scud clouds typically form underneath thunderstorms, and they're not dangerous. But again, you know, it's worth looking at, and whether it's a scud cloud or any funnel cloud or anything else, you always want to take caution. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? And it's best to be prepared. And
here's another video of hail and torrential downpours. This is from Dave Birch along State Route 2022 in East Stroudsburg.
Okay, let's see that. All right, not as intense as some of the other videos that we've seen.
You can see the hail; it's starting to bounce off the sidewalk there.
But still, all the puddles. Yeah, a lot of rain. That's from where?
That is from East Stroudsburg.
East Stroudsburg. Okay. Thank you for sending that in as well.
And that's the picture from Wilkes-Barre that we showed earlier.
Yep. I want to go back, if we can now, to Max 1, please, guys. And I've got this up here because the whole reason we're not going to the news is because of these tornado watches and warnings. So I want to just explain the difference between a watch and a warning. Okay? A watch means conditions are favorable for a tornado. A warning, tornado warning, indicates tornado spotted or indicated by radar on that rotation. We talked about it in depth earlier. And then what you need to do when there's a tornado warning is take action immediately. You want to, there is a severe threat to human life, catastrophic damage to your home if a tornado were to form and move right over your area. So that's why we want you going to an interior room in your house. Here's what, just to put some graphics to what Stacy was talking about earlier, tornado safety. If you're in the path of a tornado, you want to go to the basement first. If you don't have a basement, then you want to go to the interior room of your home. And Stacy, you were talking about this earlier. This is exactly what we always talk about. The best place is your basement. The second best place is interior or bathroom. You can get inside the bathtub. Those are the areas you want to be when there's tornado warnings being issued by the National Weather Service. Okay, let's go back to the tornado warnings that we have right now. I'll zoom in on that. Again, we've been focusing on, it's been primarily eastern Pennsylvania, and these are the two that we have going on right now. One, just moving up into Pike County. Pike's been active here this afternoon, as well as Monroe County. Those two areas right there. So let's zoom in. You can see the red cone indicating this is moving along 84, Route 6. Just be careful if you have loved ones that are traveling on those areas. There's Handsome Eddy, Lackawaxen. This storm is moving in that direction. So take precaution. All right, let's go down to the south here. This is that storm system that is capable of producing a tornado. It is just south of our viewing area, but notice it's just beginning to enter parts of Monroe County in this area right here, which is why we have that tornado warning and triggered until 5:15 for us. So that's a few minutes from now. We're going to continue to watch this, but you can see the towns that are included in this. Again, as it moves up into Pike County, a lot of this game land, I get it, but we just want to be careful. There's Route 209, and these storms are moving through. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings issued. This is a newer one right now for Broadheadsville, Eldred, just east of Palmerton. Zoom in a little bit more. You can see Route 560, 335, 209. This is all going to be in the path of these storms as they're gradually working their way to the northeast. The other thing, and we really didn't even talk about it, and we normally do, is we have multiple flash flood warnings going on right now. And what does the flash flood warning mean? Well, that means there's flooding happening right now, areas with poor drainage along some of the smaller streams and creeks. And those flash flood warnings are happening all along our northern tier. And we talked about that earlier, Stacy. That northern tier just getting hit with round after round after round. So we're going to have to keep an eye on those river levels and streams and what's causing all of this. You asked me about that earlier, Stacy. There it is, that large area of low pressure. It's gradually working northeast, and it's helping to fuel these storms. Couple that with the fact that we had that sunshine earlier today, really allowed the lower atmosphere to heat up, create lift, and we ended up with these storms. So there's several areas we're watching, and the one down to the south, once again, we're picking up some rotation in that thunderstorm. Again, it's vertical right now, but it's horizontal right now, but we'll have to watch, make sure this thing doesn't spin out a funnel cloud, which turns to the ground. So we'll watch that. But up here, Stacy, they have been inundated with rain. The rain that's been happening up here in Tioga County, my heart goes to these people because, you know, yesterday we were talking about Tioga River up near Mansfield. That was expected to crest at 4.5 feet yesterday. I talked about this last night on the air. Flood stage is around 12, not a factor. Not going to be the case now. All that rain that's moving through there, we are certainly looking at the potential for some flooding going on up there. That's why they have the flash flood warnings going on as we speak. The reason we're on the air is this line right here. We've got 2 tornado warnings. Stacy, I think we have a new one just issued.
A new one.
I think we have a new tornado warning just
Yep, there it is.
You see it? Mm-hmm. So, like I mentioned, if you are trying to follow on the National Weather Service website and you're not getting these updated as quickly as we do here in the Severe Weather Set, these are up to the second notifications to keep you informed. We're watching that. That's the one that was just south of our viewing area, and that tornado warning. Let me just click on the latest that we have. This is the one that was just issued here. Now, here's the thing, Stacy. That's just outside of our viewing area. So we're going to watch this one. This one now is until 4:45. The one that is in our viewing area there, or 5:45. Mm-hmm. My apologies. The one north of us up there into Pike County, that one is until 5:15. So we're going to see if this one is expired or extended. What we have seen, Stacy, is we've seen those storms that spawned the initial tornado warnings as they've been moving north, spawning more tornado warnings and more tornado warnings. We've been seeing that. So this is what it looks like on radar. We're keeping track there at home. Just what an afternoon. It's just been busy. Ever since I got into the weather office this afternoon, it's just been busy, and we've been seeing these storms. So there's that line moving through, and we've been getting photos, videos, and we appreciate it very much. We want you to do it safely, which is very important to us. But these areas right here are the ones that we're keeping a close eye on. So, Stacy, do you have any more video or pictures?
I do. I have a few more.
Okay.
I'm waiting on, and I'm kind of looking at these as we're experiencing them for the first time together. This is a video of a flooded road in Forest City from Steve. Let's take a look at that. It looks like he's in the car. Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been talking about, right? The potential for flash flooding because of this excessive rain. Now, this is important to note. One thing, and Kurt, maybe you can chime in on this. If there's water rushing over a roadway, one should not drive over it, right?
Turn around, don't drown.
Turn around, don't drown.
Yes, absolutely.
Even though that's a little bit of water.
But, Stacy, the problem is you don't know if the foundation of that road has been washed out.
Right.
And a lot of times you can create gaps in the roadways. You can create sinkholes. And you wouldn't know it because the water looks like it's just barely over top of the road. So you're right. Turn around, don't drown.
We've shown that before. That's high water in Pleasant Mount. Here's some flooding in Honesdale from Madison. Some pooling in the grass there. And here's another turn around, don't drown scenario. This is in Lake Ariel from Christine. The water is completely covering that part of the road there, pooling there. But it looks like the rain has stopped.
Yeah, and I have good news to report, Stacy. Just getting the latest here. The tornado warning that we had earlier until 5:15 for parts of Monroe up into Pike County has expired. So at this point right now, we do not have any tornado warnings in our viewing area. You see that tornado warning down here? That is just south. That's just beyond the border. And I just want to verify that is a tornado warning until 5:45. But let me just back up. Give me a minute. As I mentioned before, I'm actually working on two computers here. That tornado warning, that is for, northwestern Sussex County. That does not include Monroe. Doesn't mean we're not going to get hit with storms there, but that does not include Monroe. And I'm on their website right now. It has not updated like it's updating for you live on the WNEP right now. It's still showing a tornado warning in Pike County, but that tornado warning that is online, that has expired. So what you're looking at is the up to the second tornado watches warnings that we have going on right now, and it is just south of our viewing area. So we don't have a tornado warning in the viewing area. So we're gonna control room. I guess we're gonna go back to regular news. As we wind down here, you can see I'm keeping a close eye on all of this, which is why I'm in the severe weather set. Steve up there in the northern tier sending in that video of the flash flooding going on. We're seeing a lot of that. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's behind me, but we have Tioga, we have Susquehanna, eastern Susquehanna, northern Lackawanna. We also have Wayne County, all with flash flood warnings. What is flash flood warnings? Flooding's happening right now. Areas with poor drainage, smaller streams and creeks. We focus a lot on the tornado warnings because that's why we're staying on the air. But don't forget the gold boxes that you see, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. Those are also capable of producing power outages, damages to your home, car. So we want to be careful there. So for now, Stacy, I guess we're going to keep an eye on this. I'm going to stay in the severe weather set, but I'm going to turn it over to you now for some news, and we'll have our weathers coming up in a little bit. And obviously, if we get another tornado warning, we'll go back on the air. But let me just say, you were thrown in there. You did a wonderful job, Stacy.
Thank you. And I wanted to say you did a fabulous job as well. We got that tornado warning right before we went on the air at 4, and you've been with us now for an hour and 18 minutes, and you will stick with us. We're gonna cover some news when we come back from a commercial break, but Kurt will be here in the Severe Weather Center